What is up, everybody? So I literally just made this video and found out it wasn't even recording. So lovely. I'm gonna try to just rush or run through this since just try to just make this video when I wasn't recording. That's awesome. Anyway, so there's a man who cannot pass away. He has returned to life 6 different times. You know, after his body was burned. So like he was in like a house fire or something, I'm guessing, because like, it just says like his body was burned. And like when I read this a second ago, there was no like uh, mention of like how he got burned. So we could always look that up for a different video. I just kind of just wanted to talk about this because I had seen it and I had already recorded the video and I did, yeah, So, but we're just gonna go ahead and just read through this again. So, meet the man who cannot die. He returned to life 6 times after his body was burned. And there's a video, which, like I said, we're not gonna watch the video in the other one. So Ismail recounted the harrowing incidents that have shaped his reputation as the man who cannot die, which is pretty wild. Like this is the guy. Yeah, I guess it's like screenshots of the video, which I guess the video would tell you why he was like how he was burnt and all that. But go watch the video. Like if you do come to this site here after seeing it, it does take you just straight to the video, or you can just go straight to the video of about the guy that cannot pass away. And like I said in the other video before, I am not dressed presentable, so we are not going to be having camera on right now. But let's get into this for the second time. A 40-year-old Tanzanian man identified as Ismail Azizi has laminated his inability to pass away. The man has reportedly been unalived 6 times and returned alive, which is insane, bro. Like in an executive interview with Afrimax, Ismail recounted the harrowing incidents that have shaped his reputation as the man who cannot die. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Like, could you imagine not being able to like pass away at any point in time? Like, at one point in time, I remember there was like somebody who had like they were doing like the injections to make people pass away, and there was like a guy or maybe a few who didn't like right away, which I could be wrong on this. Like I'm not 100% sure, but I believe like those men, that were convicted of crimes and all that, they were like dealt with, so they still weren't. But could you imagine like just like regular like you just live in regular life, like and you just don't wake up and then like you end up like somewhere else because people think that you passed away and you just sit up and wake up and you're like, what? Why is it so dark here? You got like something like clammed over your like head and your body and all that, like being trapped. That factor would freak me out because I'm not a big fan of being closed in spaces. But like this the factor of like being on the outside of watching. Like just imagine like you end up in like a hospital or something. You go to the morgue and you just see somebody just sit up that was pronounced that they were no longer alive. Like, that shit would trip me the fuck out. According to him, the first notable event occurred after a serious accident at work where he was pronounced unalived by attending doctors. Miraculously, moments later, he regained consciousness in the morgue, which shocked his family and friends who had already started preparing for his funeral. Yeah, see, like I was just saying, like this shit would be insane, like friends, family, any of that stuff that would be like, like mourning you and all that, and you just pop up. You're just like, hello. No, shit, people be tripping. They took me to the hospital in critical condition, and the doctors told my friends and relatives that I was unalive. They took me to the morgue, but I woke up feeling very cold. Fortunately, the morgue wasn't closed. Oh, that's something else that would have tripped me the fuck out. Cause you imagine like you're like stuck in the morgue after like waking up, like after you were pronounced to not be alive anymore. Like that shit would be insane. That back to the claustrophobicness. Like that shit. I would be like, no. But I think fortunately the morgue wasn't closed, and I was able to. I walked out. When my family saw me, they ran away because they thought I was a ghost. Eyewitness identified. as Al-Mansi also recounted witnessing Ismail rising from the dead just before his burial ceremony commenced. When the incident happened, I witnessed everything because I and others were in charge of burying him. Just before the ceremony started, he came out of the coffin. Everyone there immediately ran away because it was terrifying to see someone you know is dead come back to life. Yeah, fact, that's insane. You know, like I was saying, this wasn't the only time where there were other occasions where he died and came back to life. The eyewitness said. Ismail, reflecting on his usual experience post resurrection, he said, life continued, but I felt there was something wrong. Every time I died and came back, my body felt strange because of the witches in our area. People started treating me as if I were a witch, he said. And you can see the video here. Which, yeah, that probably would throw a lot of people into like some like suspiciousness. Like, why can't this guy like pass on to the afterlife or whatever they think? You know, or why can't he just not come back every 20 minutes? Not every 20 minutes, but you guys know what I mean. You know, like that really would throw some suspicions to people because nobody else in the world that we know of, there could be some like weird stuff going over on that Centennial Island that nobody's allowed to go to, or any of these other islands that we're forbidden to go to. There could be people that have lived way longer than we know, or like in this guy's case, they could not be alive, not be alive, like way more than six, which you never know. Because I mean, just like this is a factor of like what possibly could happen to people, even if we don't know about it, like, because like how long did it actually take before this was even take to release the man? So let's see, like, how long is it? Man who wants to live forever. That's not what I even asked. Man, I mean, unless maybe is this an actual book about it? The man who can't die. I mean, maybe that's about it. That's about who wants to live forever. Like, 'cause it doesn't say anything here, like how long, like it. I think it might say like it was updated at some point, but like being updated doesn't tell me anything. Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm not for sure. So like I don't know how long ago. I mean, maybe if I actually put this name in there, but I'm not too worried about it. Don't want to make the video too long. But yeah, like this is pretty wild. Let me know let me know how y'all would feel about this if you knew somebody that just kind of would just like pass away and come back. Would you think some conspiracy theories about it? Would you think that there was some weird shit happening? Because I would. Not even gonna lie, I would. But with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.